This is Artful Discourse, your weekly escape into the vibrant world of creativity, culture, and intellectual exploration. I'm your host, Benjamin Kirk, and I invite you to join me on a journey through the rich tapestry of human thought and the beating heart of artistic expression at Fresno State's College of Arts and Humanities. Today, we are exploring the intersection of two new programs here at Fresno State's College of Arts and Humanities. The first is a relatively new Spanish translation and interpretation minor, and the second is the Humanities internship program, which was empowered through a grant from the Mellon Foundation. Now, this semester, these two programs combined to create a unique internship program where the students can use and hone their translation and interpretation skills in a real-world setting while serving the community. Now, we have a full house to talk about this today. So joining us is Dr. Juan Berrios, assistant professor in the Department of Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures. He's the one who started the Spanish translation and interpretation minor. So welcome, Juan.
Thank you so much for having us today.
We also have Dr. María Dolores Morillo, associate professor of Spanish and coordinator for the internship course. Welcome.
Thank you.
And then I'm really excited because we have two students. It's always fun to have students in with us. And so we have Emily Avila, student interning in Parlier Unified.
Hello. And
Jatziry Arriola, student interning at Centro La Familia Advocacy Services. So welcome to you as well.
Hello.
So now we just came from our Humanities internship showcase, and this was an event where our internships through the Mellon program, the students were able to do display poster boards and talk about what they did for their internships. So first of all, I just kind of want to get all of your thoughts on that event. What did you think of it, Juan?
I thought it was a fantastic opportunity for students to showcase their work. I think the students, their families, us as faculty mentors and university administrators were very impressed by the quality and the depth of the work that was presented. And then at the end of the day, we really want to branch out as a department, as a college, and as a university into the community outside our campus. And I think by way of doing this, we have been able to achieve that goal.
Maria, you're the coordinator for the Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures department for the internship program there. So how did that feel to see your students there?
It was an amazing feeling. It was coming all together after a very hard year of hard work and preparing, getting them settled, making the connections between students and the community, finding partnerships. And I think this was an amazing culminating experience. All of our efforts came together in a beautiful way. And I agree with my colleague Juan when he mentioned the importance of connecting with the community and sort of reaching out and making our students in the humanities visible. That is part of the origin of this internship, making internships in the humanities available to our students, and not just internships, but paid internships.
And to you two, this is really all about you. So how, Emily, what were your thoughts? What was it like to present what you did in front of people? I mean, basically people just kind of came around and you talked to people. So how was that event for you?
It was one of my first events like this, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to be able to serve communities and tell people about it, share my experiences, and inspire others to do the same. It was a really great internship, and I enjoyed sharing it with everyone.
Jatziry?
I would have to say that, yeah, like I agree with Emily. It's definitely like a way of inspiring others to pursue and doing the same things. A lot of people came up to me and they were amazed by the job I had done and how rewarding it was to the community, especially like the Latino community. So I think it was like a great experience to be able to share like my opportunity and the work that has been done. And it also like served as a great public speaking and presentation experience.
Okay, now while you're on the mic, Siri, tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your major? What's your minor, if you have a minor? And what are your career goals?
Well, I'm majoring in forensic behavioral sciences, which is part of the criminology department. recently I also became a criminology honors program alumni this Tuesday.
Mm,
And
congratulations.
thank you. And then I also I'm obtaining my minor in Spanish. I was formerly an intern with the Drug Enforcement Administration prior to this internship with Centro La Familia. And then, so now being able to tie it together, the experience of like legal interpreting and translation, as well as my previous internship, it feels, it makes me want to go and be ready to pursue my career in law enforcement after graduation.
What about you, Emily? Your major, minor, and what are your career goals?
I'm a psychology major and Spanish minor, and my goal is to be a school psychologist. And I'm already on my way. I got accepted into the grad program here at Fresno State for school psychology. So I'm very excited.
How do the skills you've learned through this internship and through your Spanish minor, how do they complement your major?
They complement really well with each other. I always tell people this internship is the best of both worlds because I get to use my both both of my interests into a way of serving others. So I really enjoy speaking Spanish and talking to people in Spanish, and I also really enjoy the field of psychology. So bringing those two together in this internship is interpreting at IEP meetings or 504 meetings, which are meetings with school psychologists, and working side by side with them has really solidified my interest in school psychology.
And to me, this is kind of amazing because both of you, this is kind of the merging of science and the humanities, and really kind of presenting you with a more well-rounded opportunities for the future. Well, how do you feel the skills you've learned
Okay.
through your internship and really kind of this your Spanish minor will help you in your future career?
Yeah, so having the Spanish minor and then also this experience that I recently gained with my Spanish internship, I feel like the legal and translation skills will be very helpful, especially going into law enforcement, since there's a lot of individuals who speak Spanish. So I feel like it's an important skill to have to ensure that these individuals know their rights, know the resources, and just be able to help them understand.
And in a lot of ways, this goes beyond just speaking the language, and as you said, kind of getting to that expertise as well. Not only in, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but not only in the language aspect of it, but uh, also being precise in legal terms and how they translate across. Correct?
Yeah, it's definitely something that could be challenging at times because some of these individuals they don't understand certain terms, but you have to specify to them like okay, like try to simplify it as much as you can while ensuring that you're giving them the information. And that's something I have learned with Dr. Berrios in his translation courses and his legal interpreting courses, the importance of ensuring to ensuring like the definition stays the same.
Yeah. Now, all of this is kind of brought about to the Spanish translation minor. Now, Juan, you were kind of spearheaded that effort to solidify that minor, from what I understand. That's correct, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
So tell me a little bit about the minor and why it's important, and why the demand for Spanish translation and interpretation is why there's so much demand for these professionals in the valley.
Yeah, certainly. This is a new program. It's officially in the books for the first time this academic year, 2024-2025. And we decided to do this as a department. I spearheaded the effort, but this was with the collaboration of all of my colleagues in the Spanish section of the Modern Languages department and other colleagues in the department as well. And we decided to do this to basically widen the range of opportunities that students have access to. And this is also in response to student interest that had been expressed over time. We already had some courses that had been offered in past years. We have, let's say, three specializations. We have legal interpreting, medical interpreting, and then written translation. And then the idea here was to sort of like create a home for all of these courses because they were just in isolation, right? So that's basically the goal of this minor, right? So that students have that opportunity. It's also meant to be complementary to the Spanish minor, the regular Spanish minor that already exists. So students can have that option. If they have a more all-encompassing minor, yeah, they can take the Spanish minor, which, if I'm not mistaken, and my colleague here can
Mhm.
talk more about that. It's 21 credits, and then we have the Spanish minor in translation and interpreting specifically, if that's the area that they want to focus on.
Right.
We feel that it is a very flexible minor, and it is especially suitable for students who are in related fields. For instance, we have students here in psychology and criminology, which we have also received increasing interest from students in biochemistry, kinesiology, and the like, because they complement each other nicely, right?
Yeah.
Now, the second part of your question was, why is this important? If I'm not mistaken, right? Why is this needed? Um, we're in the Central Valley, and we're all aware that this is an inherently bilingual community and region, in an inherently bilingual state as a whole, California. So there is an increasing need of bilingual professionals who are skilled not just in speaking the language, as you said previously, but also something that I emphasize in my courses. It's intercultural competence, right? It's not just the linguistic side of things, but the social side of it, the context, and just being situationally aware of where we are. And then the third part of why these courses and the minor as a whole is necessary is that it provides students professionalization skills. These are things that cannot really be learned unless you're taught and you simulate and practice these situations in the classrooms. That's what we do. My courses are very practical in nature. There's a certain component of theory as any other college level course, but I try to provide students with opportunities to really put those skills into practice. And according to the feedback that I've gotten, this has worked because they have run into these simulated situations in the real workplace as well.
What's the difference between being bilingual and being trained in translation and interpretation?
I think that's an excellent question. Yeah. So as I was saying, and I think this builds on some of the comments that our students just shared. Uh, just merely knowing the language is not enough,
Yeah.
right? That's a big part of it, but it's not enough. If that was the case, then any person, just by virtue of being bilingual, would be able to perform these jobs. And very often, it happens that people try to do these jobs, especially high stakes
Mhm.
uh, jobs, which is the case for both of our students here today. These were important meetings. For instance, Emily here was working in teacher parent conferences. We have high stakes.
Mhm.
Likewise, for Jatziry, who was working with immigration matters. So these are people's lives. It has an impact on their life. Uh, and it happens sometimes when people who haven't received the training, even though they're bilingual, when they go into the workforce or when they go into the field, they find, oh, it's not enough to just know the languages. I also need the technique, which is something that they're trained on in the courses. They need the situational awareness. They need the professional competence. And in some particular cases, depending on where they want to work, they might even need certification.
Yeah.
For instance, if they want to work in the courts, for instance, the court system, they need to be certified for that, whether it's the state level in California or federally. And then if they want to work into medical interpreting, they have to get usually a certification as well.
And so, does your program provide the certification, or they provide the training for the certification?
Yeah, we cannot provide this certification ourselves because we're not the granting agency,
Mhm.
but I do train them, and they actually, for instance, one of the students here today is in my advanced medical interpreting class. One of the things that we do in that class is basically a simulation to take the certification exam if that's something that they're interested in, right?
Mm.
So I tell them what the exam encompasses. It has different components. It has a theoretical component and then a practical component. And then we actually do that in the class. We do a simulation. So if they are interested in taking that certification, they have the resources to do that.
Maria, tell me about the internship program. How long has the program been going, and where are the students being placed?
Well, this is actually the spring semester has been the first ever.
Mm-hmm.
So we are piloting, and I think, in my opinion, and you guys can agree or not, I think it's been very successful. I finally recruited 9 students in my course to be the first ever. So I was supposed to begin in the fall, but I decided to do it a semester earlier just to pilot it, to try it and see how this would look like, in the future. It has been a really good experience as a pilot. So We have students in Parlier Unified, as we've mentioned. Emily was one of them, with Lady. And we have Jatziry with Centro La Familia Advocacy eh, Services.
Yeah.
Centro La Familia Advocacy Services. We also have 2 students in the San Joaquin Parkway River Park. They've been doing tours in Spanish. They've been translating their educational materials. They've also done some tours in bilingual. So they receive many schools from all over the area. And the idea for the future is to have all their materials and to offer tours and excursions in both languages. And also they want to expand and incorporate other languages as well, such as Hmong, for example. We have 2 students in working with CVWA, which is the Central Valley World Languages Association. They have participated in the organization and the running of their 25th year World Language Fair, which happened 2 weeks ago.
So
And
we're really providing services to a
yes,
wide variety of institutions around the
yes. So
valley,
education,
nonprofit.
translation, interpreting,
Yeah.
and yes. And the idea is to work for nonprofits.
And from your perspective, what are the most significant benefits for the students who participate in the internship program?
Well, on the one hand, and it's probably the most obvious one, they are getting experience, but they are being paid for that experience. They are gaining valuable professional exposure, experience. They are getting mentors who are doing a great job because it requires a lot of onboarding at the beginning and mentoring, and then they can fly solo. So their contribution, their mentoring is essential for the success of this program. And then also, we need to understand that the humanities have been, and the arts have been traditionally underpaid or non-paid at all. So for us to have, to have an internship program that is paid is a huge accomplishment. So we are extremely helpful. Thankful. We are extremely thankful for the grant that we
Yeah.
received.
And I think it's important here to point out that the Mellon Foundation has provided significant funding. This was a $5 million grant over 20 years
Yes.
for these initiatives, and that includes for paying for those internships. And this is across the College of Arts and Humanities.
Yes. Mhm.
Could you discuss how this funding has specifically supported the translation and interpretation minor?
Well, I think the students in the interpreting and
Yeah.
translation minor have benefited, especially thanks to this opportunity because of their skills.
Yeah.
They can combine their skills from their major and also their linguistic skills. They are receiving the professionalization training that they require to act in the real world as translators and interpreters, thanks to the courses in our minor. So this is the perfect combination because of the nature of the courses that Dr. Berrios teaches. It's perfect that we have this outlet already in place for those students interested in pursuing a real world situation where they can practice the theory and they can put it into action in the real and do some service. They're actually doing real world work and they're helping people, families, immigrants. We have students who are working with teachers. They're offering aid. They're collaborating in the classroom and outside of the classroom. So this internship is benefiting many students in different profiles, but especially our students in the translation and interpreting minor.
Emily, tell me about your experience working with Parlier Unified. What does your day-to-day look like?
So my day-to-day with Parlier Unified looks different. Every single week, we get a schedule of different meetings that we need to attend, and every day is an adventure, honestly. You don't know what to expect when working with so many different people, but it's always such a blessing to be able to serve the community of Parlier. They've all been so welcoming to myself and to my fellow intern lady, and it's just been really good to be able to walk in one day and you don't know where you're going necessarily, but you know that you're going to go do a job and it's going to help people. So I'm at different meetings throughout the course of the week. Sometimes they're virtual, sometimes they're in person at the different schools within the entire district. And It's really exciting to meet different parents and be able to be someone who can help them understand how to advocate for their student. And so that way they don't feel like they don't know what's going on or there's a barrier between them and the services that the student is being provided with.
Now, we just came from the showcase, and your poster board, you actually had a little graph with a little pie chart with the different services you provided. And you're right, it did seem like it would be very different day to day, and one of them was even remote. So you were actually calling.
Yes, that's right. So we're at 4 elementary schools, one middle school, one junior high, one high school, and one continuation high school. And throughout the week, we're at those different sites. And I did a lot of work remotely because we accommodate to parents who can't make it in person to the meetings. So sometimes I'm interpreting through the phone, sometimes I'm interpreting through Google Meet.
Now, Jatziry, tell me about your experience with Centro La Familia Advocacy Services.
Well, to start off, it has been a wonderful experience. I feel like initially when I was starting, I was very nervous. Just like reading the description of it being like translation of legal documents, legal interpreting. It was very intimidating, but I accepted the challenge, and everyone there has always been like very welcoming. If I ever had any questions, they would be happy to help. Um, my day to day would vary. It basically starts off with I'm giving a case, and then until I'm done with it, we'll start again with another case. That could be like in a span of like 2 weeks. For these cases, we're specifically helping individuals with their U visas, and U visas are given to individuals who have been victims of crimes. So I would help with the case preparation, filling out the forms of immigration, translating birth certificates, certificate of marriages, and other legal documents, letters of support as well. So yeah, it has been a wonderful experience. I feel like I have learned a lot, especially also from the criminal justice system and how it works.
What do you feel has been the most rewarding aspect of your internship?
I would have to say being able to give back to the community, being having the satisfaction of knowing that I'm doing something on my part to better an individual's life.
And Emily, same question. What do you feel has been the most rewarding aspect?
I think seeing the look on parents' faces go from worried to calm and feeling that they are part of the meetings that they're in. Sometimes they walk in, they don't even know what an IEP meeting is, like an individualized educational program for students with disabilities. And they don't understand how the school system works, but being able to help them, if that means lowering the register of the vocabulary and advocating for the parent in the meetings so that can happen is what's rewarding to me. Parents being able to feel like they can advocate for their student without that language barrier.
Mm. Can you give me, can either of you give me examples of things that you learned in a classroom that you were able to apply in your internship, or even vice versa, things that you learned as an intern where you were able to apply them in the classroom?
Something that I learned during my courses with, I would have to say it was the legal interpreting course with Dr. Berrios, was the importance of an audience, taking into consideration who is your audience and how they would understand those terms. So I feel like that's something I have been able to apply into my internship. Like, okay, like who are these people and what way would they understand? Because I feel like even us English speakers, there's some legal terms that we read and we don't understand. So how could we expect others from who speak another language to do the same? So I think it's important to take that into consideration. So that's something I have learned. Something I have learned from my internship that I have been able to apply to my courses has been the translation of legal documents. Specifically for this semester, we were learning how to. We had an assignment of translating. I think it was a high school diploma, and so I feel like I had already experienced that with my internship, and I was able to apply it into the classroom.
For me, I feel like the courses that I've taken with Dr. Berrios, it's been 3 now, because I like the courses so much and I feel like they're so helpful, especially for this internship. they've helped me with the professional aspect of how to handle situations and how Dr. Berrios said, you can know the language, but you have to have those skills to be able to provide that service in a professional manner. So um, that I've taken legal interpreting, advanced medical interpreting, and advanced translation, and those courses have been so integral to being able to do my job as an interpreter slash translator at Parlier Unified. So I feel like it's so important to have that background, that academic background, in order to be able to do the job in a professional manner, and including that cultural competency aspect as well.
How do you think this is going to jumpstart your career? What are you going to be able to take from this moving forward, do you think?
Well, like I mentioned before, this is the best of both worlds for me, psychology and Spanish, working side by side with a school psychologist, being able to ask them questions, learn how the school system works, has helped me with my future career as a school psychologist. And being able to learn that language so early on, I know will benefit me in the long run. And learning it in both languages will extra benefit me in the long run, because that way, when I encounter a parent who only speaks Spanish, I will be able to communicate with them in an effective and proper manner.
Yeah. How do you feel your experience with this will jumpstart your career?
I feel like my experience with this internship will help with my career because being able to be part of this internship allowed me to get experience into the legal aspect of the criminal justice system. It helped me like understand like how many processes work. As someone who wants to pursue a career within law enforcement, I feel like this was a great way in understanding certain processes. I'm currently taking in consideration expanding my internship with them into the human trafficking department, which correlates more into law enforcement. And I feel like that would also be extremely helpful, understanding like, okay, like what are resources that these victims need? What are legal resources that I could use to help them and so on.
How can students learn more about the Spanish translation and interpretation minor? And how can they get involved in the internship opportunities?
Certainly, I'll start with that. Well, they can contact me. I'm the first point of reference. My information, my email is available online on the Fresno State website. I'm happy to provide them with information about the program, about professional prospects, and how they can potentially link this program to their major. Uh, uh, we have a range of majors here, for instance, criminology and psychology, and as I mentioned before, many others. So I can help them sort of like link these opportunities together. And Additionally, our advisor for Spanish majors as a whole is Dr. Morillo here, who I will give the floor to now so that she can talk a little bit more about the internship.
So the course is called FL 170, FL as in foreign languages,
Mhm.
because it's part of the modern and classical languages and literatures department. So they can reach out to me. They have to be enrolled in the MCLL department. So in a Spanish minor, major, Italian, German, as long as they are part of MCLL, they are eligible to participate in this course and this internship. The way students enroll in the course is before they need to secure an internship. So there is a form that lists all of the internships, all of the partnerships that we have for in place for fall 25. They can reach out to me. I will provide the form, but if they are already Spanish majors or minors, they are part of my advisory list, so they have access to it. But in case that they don't, they can reach out to me, or they can reach out to our main office, and they will provide the link. So before the students, before they enroll, they have to secure an internship. So checking out that document is the first step.
Okay, and I do just want to point out this is the Department of Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures. And so that's where you can contact that department. You can get in touch with professors and find out more about the information. Is there anything I missed? Anything anyone here would like to add today?
I would like to add that this is a 3-unit course. It's an elective course. So it doesn't count for the minor or the major, but it is, as we have discussed today, it is integral to the process of our students becoming professionalized and gaining valuable experience while getting paid. So they're gaining um, experience, they're earning 3 units, and they're getting paid. They have to complete 150 hours in a given semester.
I like that word, professionalized.
Yes.
That really nails it right there. All right. Thank you so much.
Can
Oh,
I add something? Yeah.
of course.
Well, I'm just really grateful for this internship. I feel like it was the last little missing puzzle piece into my acceptance into the school psychology program. This experience has helped me so much. I've gained so much from it. And the opportunity to have that exposure to a rural community like Parlier has been so eye-opening to me. And the community there is just so welcoming. I want to give a shout out to my supervisor, Amy Hernandez Calderon, and the Parlier Unified Board for being so welcoming and willing to accept 2 brand new interns and train us to be able to help out their community. I'm just so grateful for this internship and everything that it has provided me with.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. And a big thank you to the Mellon Foundation for funding such a terrific internship program that is filling a huge need for our students and our community. Artful Discourse is a production of the College of Arts and Humanities at California State University, Fresno. The dean is Dr. Honora Chapman. This program is written, directed, and produced by me, Benjamin Kirk, the college's communication specialist. The theme song for Artful Discourse is Maiden Voyage by Fresno State music professor Benjamin Boone from his album, Joy. More information about his music can be found at benjaminboone.com. Special thanks to KFSR and FSR Underground General Manager Julie Lindahl for making this show possible. You can learn more about the College of Arts and Humanities and find an archive of our shows at our website, cah.fresnostate.edu, or on our blog, fresnostatecah.com.